Yeah.
Guys, this is me starting to read for you. I am doing any books that you want me to. You can give us some pointers on books that you want me to read because I love reading. And this is the first book that we are reading.
Yeah.
And I will be reading out of this book as long as my friend is still here. Okay, so thank you guys.
Yeah.
When the time came for me to return to Earth, a messenger of the great overlords told me that I should be reborn in calm. And the two who would fashion me, my new body, would become me, would welcome me. For one had been companions of aforetime, and the ties between us were of love and not of hatred, which are the two threads that bind men most closely together upon earth. And for my brother I should have one with whom I had travelled long upon the great journey. When this was told to me, the sorrow which all know when they must leave their true home and go to the place of mists upon another day's journey was lightened, for I should have companions into my exile. While my mother still sheltered me with her body, my father sought to find a gift that would tell her of the love that had filled his heart. He could not tell her of his love in words, for words are but the fleeting shadows of reality. Carvers in turquoise nor workers in gold or ivory could please him with their finest craftsmanship. One day, as he was walking in the gardens of the palace in the cool of the evening, he thought of making a garden for my mother, a garden such as has never been seen before. Only by this could he symbolize his love. For nothing can be greater than its creator, and though a carving may be a song in stone, it is born of the sculptor. But the plants of the earth are the children of the gods. And so, in a curve like the young moon, he planted trees to shade her from the sun at noonday, and bushes with aromatic leaves to spice the air for her refreshment. And for the bowstring of this living bow, there was the lapping water of a lake, which stretched its silver to a setting sun, Amenti into the west. Then he mustered a host of grassy spears, which closed their ranks to make the smooth green lawns, and he starred them with little flowers, scarlet and yellow, violet, blue, and white, which grew to make a carpet for her feet. From lands beyond the boundaries of calm, he brought the scarlet lilies of the land of gold, and trumpet vines that grow far to the south, where men walk in their own shadow. And from the north he summoned lemon trees, white oleanders and anemones, and flowers that keep their perfume for the moon, to fill the dusk with their drowsy sweetness. And honeysuckle entwined the arbita flowers, and the blue convolvulus to make her wreaths. When I was 12 days old, my father for the first time took her to this garden that he had made for her. It was surrounded by a garden wall, and upon the lintel of the door of the cedar wood were carved the name Za, Atet, and Mary Nezut, the beloved of Pharaoh's heart. Together they went into the flowering shade, where the paths were secret as gazelle tracks through the reeds. When she reached the heart of this green quiet, and saw a garden more beautiful than any she had dreamed, she said that here the petals of the flowers were as though the clouds of sunset had been carved into blossoms by the sun god Ra, who upon earth could never before have found such pleasure for his rays. And both agreed that it must have been pleased the gods to see his children here so glorified. So they named this place Zeketa Ara, the meadow of Ra. And to me also they gave this name.
Good.
My brother, who had returned to earth 3 years before me, was called Neah. For at his birth the priests of Maat, in attendance, seeing those who came to speed him on his way, had said, "Here is one who is worthy to rule over the people of Calm, for the companions of his spirits are long in years." For his master bore this name when in the old land he listened to the voice that warned him of the coming of the great rain. And just as his master guided his people when the evil ones had disappeared beneath the waters, so shall this child guide the people of Calm when they are assailed by evil ones, who in their turn shall be engulfed by the sea. When he was very little and walking was still a new adventure, Mata, took Neya and me with her to the temple. Neya held my hand going up the steps. Everything was very big, and it was cold after the hot sunshine in the courtyard. In one of the rooms there was an enormous wooden animal, like a hunting dog, painted black. I wanted to touch it, but Neya said I mustn't, because it was the statue of a god, and it was called Anubis. And suddenly I felt much older than two, and as wise as Martha, my nurse, and I thought I knew all about Anubis, but I couldn't find words to explain it to Inea. When we got home, I told mother about it, and she gave me a little statue of Anubis, just the same, only child size, with a little painted wooden house for it to live in. And I kept it beside my bed so that I could see it in the first thing in the morning when I woke up. Mother said that Anubis was the bringer of dreams to children. Sometimes I dreamed of being grown up and doing lots of very important things. I couldn't quite remember them, but in the morning it seemed very unfamiliar to me to be only two. Neya didn't have to go to bed until long after me because he was 5. Quite often before I went to sleep, he used to come and tell me stories. I had a very special favorite story about a lion and a wildcat and a hare. The hare lived with his mother in the reeds. He could run much faster than all his brothers and sisters, and although his mother warned him not to go too far from home, he didn't listen, for he thought he could run away from any danger, however sudden. He used to creep out of the night and look up on the moon, where he could see the father of all the hares, and he used to tell him all about the clever things he had done. Because they say there's a hare on the moon, right? A rabbit on the moon. So now he's talking to the rabbit on the moon. That's his god. One day, when he was busy thinking about himself, a huge wildcat sprang upon him, and she picked him up in her mouth and took him home to her cubs for their breakfast. But the cubs had plenty of breakfast, so the wildcat put him down at the entrance to her cave and told him that if he moved, she would kill him at once.